Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to your own channel Midu Study. I am your friend Ashutosh from I am Indore, and friends, as we all know, Midu Study is your own channel, own initiative in which we do different management subjects and topics in a very simple manner. Today's video, my dear friends, is on strategic management. In strategic management, we already have 5 videos. Unit 1 was introduction to strategic management. We had 4 videos in it, and then in last video, if you remember, video number 5, we started with the second chapter, which was social responsibility and ethics in strategic management. We have already covered about the social responsibility part. Those of our friends who have not seen it, please see video number 5, understand social responsibility, and then today we will discuss about the ethics part. Let us begin, my dear friends. First of all, reasons for unethical behavior. So see, before going to what is relativism, what is ethics all about, why people behave unethically. Unaware that behavior is questionable. Sometimes we are not knowing that this is something which is unethical or should not be done. That can lead to it. Lack of standards of conduct. Many a time, standards of conduct are not defined. It lacks. So how a person will know what he or she is supposed to do? In that way also, in that scenario also, he can behave unethically. Different cultural norms and values. Many times the norms and values which are there are different. So take an example. In your Western countries, US, European countries, it is very common to hug people, kiss them during greeting. But when we come to Asian or African countries, it is more about different salutations. Like in India and all, it is about namaste, a firm hand salutation. So if a person from Europe is coming here, meeting some lady and he is going for a hug, then what will happen? That lady will feel uncomfortable and people in India will say, see, he don't know how to behave, he is behaving unethically. But he is not behaving unethically. What he is doing? He is behaving as per the culture in which he has been there. Behavior based or relationship based governance systems. So governance systems are many times relationship based. So if your known person, your previous relative, your friend, your neighbor, your any known person comes to you, for him you might have to deviate things because we live in a relationship based society. That also needs to lead to unethical behavior. Different values between business people and stakeholders. So between different stakeholders and business people, things will be different, and that can also lead to the unethical behavior. Now let's come to an important topic. Let us start with moral relativism. What is moral relativism? Claims that morality is about some personal, social or cultural standard, and that there is no method for deciding whether one decision is better than another. This is moral relativism. It says that, see, you cannot say which decision is wrong, which is better, which is good, which is no. It is all about the personal, social and the cultural standard. That is called as moral relativism. There are basically 4 different types of moral relativism, my dear friends. Let us start with them. First moral relativism is naive moral relativism. This naive moral relativism is based on the belief that all moral decisions are deeply personal and that individuals have right to run their lives. So you will see now, whether it is any of your friend or maybe your spouse or your kid, you say don't do this, do like this. He will say my life, my choice. I will go as per my life, my will. What is that? Saying that I want to do things basically by my choice. Individuals have the right to run their lives. That is known as naive relativism. Then comes role relativism, based on the belief that social role carries certain obligations to that role. So see, you might be a lady, you want to do party, or why a lady for that matter, let's not be gender insensitive, you are a parent. Naive relativism, you will say, I am in a mood to party with my friends, with my colleagues, I will go out for party. But there are kids in the home who are hungry. Someone need to prepare food for them. Someone need to take care of them. At that time, you are in the role of a parent. So this is what it is saying. Social roles carry with them certain obligations. So you need to fulfill those obligations. This is, my dear friends, known as role relativism. Third relativism is social group relativism, based on belief that morality is simply a matter of following the norms of an individual's peer group. So different peer groups will have different norms. For example, if you are into defense, there will be different norms for you. You need to follow that. If you are into civil services, if you are into profession of lawyer, there will be different things. So that is social group relativism. And last is cultural relativism, based on the belief that morality is relative to a particular culture, society or community. So it says that it's not about peer group, it is not about individual, it is all about the culture, society or community in which a person is living. Let's now discuss Kohlberg's level of moral development. So Kohlberg has given 3 levels of moral development. He started with pre-conventional level. Pre-conventional level means concern for oneself. Be concerned about your own self. That is known as pre-conventional level. Number 2, conventional level. Consideration for society's laws and norms. The society in which you are living, the group of which you are part, discuss about that conventional norms which are there. Third, principle level, guided by an internal moral code. Means you will say na, see I want to do this but मेरे principles नहीं allow कर रहे, my principles are not allowing. So that is known as principled level. Now encouraging ethical behavior. First let us discuss about code of ethics. So my dear friends who are working here, who have work experience, they will understand whenever they join any company, there will be a code of ethics which they have to sign. Specifies how an organization expects its employee to behave while on job. So in that code of ethics detailed document, they will tell that how they expect you to behave in the job. A code of ethics clarifies company expectations of employee conduct in various situations. So it will tell in which situation how one should behave. Makes clear the company expects people to recognize the ethical dimension in decision and actions. Now one common term which you might have heard is whistleblower. So who is a whistleblower? Blowing the whistle. See something, if something goes wrong, someone has to blow that whistle. That is whistleblower. Employee who report illegal or unethical behavior on part of others are known as whistleblowers. Now views on ethical behavior. Let us discuss about these 3 things. What is ethics, morality, law? Just read the lines which I have given, you will understand. What is ethics? Consensually accepted standards of behavior for an occupation, trade or profession. So what are the accepted standard for an occupation, trade or profession? That is known as ethics. Morality. One's rules of personal behavior based on religious or philosophical grounds. So what is based upon your religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, that falls under morality. Law. The formal codes that permit or forbid ethical behavior and may or may not enforce ethics or morality, that is known as law, as per the law of the books. Views on ethical behavior. So now there are 3 different views which we need to discuss. First is the utilitarian approach. Utilitarian approach says that proposes action and plan should be judged by their consequences. So by doing this, what will be the consequence? Basis that you need to judge. That is known as utilitarian approach. Individual rights approach proposes human beings have certain fundamental rights that should be respected in all decisions. So whatever you do, whatever decision is being taken, human beings have certain fundamental rights that should not be broken. So for your growth, you cannot breach those fundamental rights of the individual. Justice approach. Decision made must be equitable, fair and impartial in the distribution of cost and benefit to individual or group. So for every work there will be some cost which are being incurred and some benefits which are there. So all that there should be a fair distribution, that is known as justice approach. Now let us discuss about the Cavenberg's questions to solve ethical problems. How to do that? Utility. Does it optimize the satisfaction of the stakeholders? That is known as utility. So different stakeholders are there. Does it optimize the satisfaction? That falls under utility. Right. Does it respect the right of individual involved? So decision, it should not violate anyone's rights. That is second question. Third, justice. Is it consistent with the canons of justice? So does it fall under the justice or not? Let us move ahead. Kant's categorical imperatives. So what is Kant categorical imperatives? Actions are ethical only if person is willing the same action to be taken by everyone who is in similar situation. So very easy. What is ethical or not ethical? Just think. When you are in that particular person's shoes, what you would have done. Sometimes it happens na. You find someone's behavior to be inappropriate. He will say, my dear friend, yaar, just think. If you would have been in my situation, what you would have done? तू अगर मेरी जगह होता तो क्या करता? That particular question. So that is first. Second, never treat another person simply as a means but always as an end. So don't treat anyone as a means to do something. Always treat it as an end. If you are with someone, don't try and take benefit to succeed and then dump that person. No. If you are in a journey together, success also should be enjoyed together. This is the second imperative. My dear friends, it was all about the ethical behavior and social responsibility. With this, our unit 2 of strategy gets complete. In our next video, we will start with the next topic, which is environmental scanning and industrial analysis. We will know how to scan the environment and analysis of industry, which is unit number 3. Friends, if you like that video, do let us know, like it, share it and subscribe to Medu Study. If there is any sort of feedback related to this particular video or content or anything related to strategy you want us to develop, you can write to us on medu.study@gmail.com or in the comment section. We will definitely revert. If you are liking the content, please like the video, share it and subscribe to Medu Study. Thank you friends, take care.